of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
Hello and welcome to Dott TV Media News. I am Priscilla Ifani. The Delta State government says it remains committed to building a more efficient, innovative and result-driven public service. This assurance came from the head of service, Minimi Oseji, during a press briefing in Asaba ahead of the 2026 Civil Service Celebration Week. The report.
Addressing journalists in Asaba, Dr. Oseji said the 2026 Civil Service Week is designed to promote professionalism, patriotism, accountability, integrity, innovation, and excellence among public service.
But there was a day His Excellency gathered us together, the stakeholders, and announced to everybody's shock that 10 billion was going to be injected. And that 10 billion has reduced the waiting time from 2 to 4 years actually, to about 7 months, I'm reliably informed. So that is something that His Excellency has the magnanimity to do. And I believe at the appropriate time, that's our request for an increment in the loan will be addressed.
The head of service listed the key milestones recorded during her 14 months in office to include staff transportation support initiatives, capacity building programs, agricultural support scheme, digitalization projects, and the establishment of a pilot ICT hub to accelerate digital transformation across the civil service. She disclosed that activities lined up for the Civil Service Week include a breakfast dialogue, the presentation of a bureaucratic publication, implementation of a reversed dress code, and stricter monitoring of punctuality through the time book system.
We have a pilot project that we have started implementing, and we have been able to scan the records of some of almost all our staff in the office of the head of service. We have 2 directorates, and now we are not just having the external consultants doing it, but our staff have been trained and they have started going to other FDAs to do the same thing and train. This is going to be accelerated in the next few weeks.
Dr. Oseji noted that the state government has begun digitizing public service operations through electronic record management, staff training, and e-governance program aimed at improving efficiency and service delivery across ministries, departments, and agencies. She added that plans are underway to transform the Staff Training Center into a world-class institution for manpower development.
The Staff Training Center concentrates on the training of junior staff.
Responding to questions on workers' welfare, the head of service revealed that a proposal has been submitted for an upward review of the 1 million naira housing loan. The head of state assured workers that the Delta State government will continue to prioritize their welfare while pursuing reforms aimed at enhancing productivity, accountability, and service excellence. Success Benjamin reporting for Dott TV.
Residents of Imevo and neighboring communities in Isoko North local government area of Delta State are celebrating the completion of Phase 2 of the 4.8-kilometer Imevo-Orogun Road, describing it as a transformative project that has improved transportation and stimulated economic activities in the area. This is just as the Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information, Charles Aniago, inspected the project and expressed satisfaction with the quality of work delivered. The reports.
Delta State Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information, Charles Aniago, says the completion of the Imevo-Orogun Road underscores Governor Sheriff Oborevori's commitment to rural development through the MORE agenda, boosted economic activities and strengthened connectivity among communities in the area. Aniago also commended the indigenous contractor Emerald Concepts Limited for delivering quality work despite the challenges posed by the swampy terrain.
I'm very much impressed with the amount of work that Emerald has been able to put in place with respect to this particular work. And the likes of Emerald and Choino gives us reason to feel very, very satisfied that we didn't make any mistake in patronizing indigenous contractors. You can see that they are indeed measuring up very seriously, both in terms of the quality of work, as per the aesthetics, and of course, most importantly, the strength of the work.
Aniago disclosed that the project required extensive engineering interventions, including massive earthworks, the construction of drainage systems, and the deployment of specialized equipment to overcome difficult soil conditions. While expressing satisfaction with the overall execution of the project, he directed the contractor to desilt blocked drains, replace damaged concrete slabs, and complete outstanding drainage works ahead of the official commissioning.
They need to immediately begin to desilt the drains and then conclude the remaining concrete work at the discharge point, almost about 100 meters. They need to be able to take the flood water along this corridor into the swamp. And that is being done, which is, of course, off the alignment. But it's still part of the work to be done. So that is why I use the word almost.
Residents expressed appreciation to Governor Oborevori, describing the road as life-changing. They praised the smoothness of the road, noting that it has significantly improved transportation, reduced travel time, and enhanced commercial activities within the benefiting communities. The residents said the completion of the road has brought lasting relief to commuters and opened up new opportunities for social and economic development in the area.
We dey happy for road, we don't suffer again. When you carry small load for bicycle now, we dey run up and down.
Where they carry the load go?
And go for market. When I go bless the Obomiwori, Sheriff, God bless her every day.
Meanwhile, Delta State government has dismissed recent criticism of Governor Sheriff Oborevori's administration, describing them as an opinion based on conjecture, selective omissions, and misleading assumptions. In a statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Festus Ahon, the government said the administration has recorded significant achievements across key sectors within 3 years through the implementation of the MORE agenda. Ahon stated that contrary to the claims that the government was overly focused on infrastructure, the administration has pursued a balanced development approach covering education, healthcare, economic empowerment, rural transformation, environmental sustainability, and security. He noted that one of the administration's key strengths is its ability to execute major projects without loans, adding that prudent financial management has earned Delta recognition as one of Nigeria's best managed sub-national governments. And former Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa was at the Lagos office of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission on Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, on Monday in connection with an ongoing investigation into allegations of illegal diversion of about 1.3 trillion naira. It is being reported that the former governor is being investigated for alleged diversion of 13% derivation funds accrued to Delta State from the Federation account between 2015 and 2023. Okowa was previously arrested on November 4, 2024 and questioned by operatives of the EFCC at its Port Harcourt Zonal Directorate over the allegations. He reportedly showed up at the Lagos office yesterday in a bid to secure the release of his passport to enable him travel abroad for medical treatment. Away from Delta State, the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources has convened an emergency stakeholders engagement, including the Department of State Service, the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, and the Nigerian Police Force to address liquefied petroleum gas hoarding and diversion to neighboring countries. A statement by the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority stated that the move followed the recent increase in LPG prices and developed coordinated measures to improve supply, affordability, and market stability across the country. Speaking at the engagement, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, Patience Onyekunle, described LPG as a critical energy source for household and an important component of Nigeria's energy transition agenda. She noted that rising LPG prices are putting additional pressure on household budgets and increasing the cost of essential goods, stressing the need for collective action to improve access to affordable cooking gas. Elsewhere, the Joint Task Force in the Northeast Operation Hardin Kai has rescued 47 persons, mostly women and children, who were held captive by ASWAP terrorists in Kangawa, Kukua local government area of Borno State. The acting military information officer of the theater command, Mohammed Musa, in a press statement said the significant humanitarian success was recorded on Saturday, June 20, 2026, during a combined military operation that forced the insurgents to abandon the victims. According to him, the rescued persons are currently receiving medical care from medical professionals at a secured location, and necessary humanitarian support is being provided in coordination with relevant agencies to facilitate their eventual reintegration. He further highlighted the commitment of troops to not only degrade terrorist capabilities but also to secure the release of innocent civilians held against their will. Moving on, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention says Lassa fever has claimed 214 lives in Nigeria, with the case fatality climbing to 25%. This was contained in the NCDC Lassa fever situation report for week 23 from June 1st to June 7th. It noted that both suspected and confirmed cases had also increased compared to 2025, adding that 5 states account for 84% of all confirmed cases. The NCDC said young adults remains most affected, with 21 to 30 being the predominant age group. Still ahead on the midday news, Obi calls for Tinubu's resignation, cites monumental failure in governance. Plus, foreign and sports stories coming up after this time out. Please stay with us. Thanks for still being there. Now to the rest of our stories. The presidential candidate of the Nigerian Democratic Congress, Peter Obi, has called on President Bola Tinubu to resign over what he described as a monumental failure in governance, citing worsening economic hardship, insecurity, and declining living conditions across the country. Obi made the call in a statement posted on his X handle after reflecting on the resignation announcement by British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, which he said underscored the importance of accountability in public office. According to the former Anambra State Governor, The British leader's decision to step down amid public dissatisfaction with economic conditions and unmet campaign promises offers lessons for countries seeking to strengthen democratic governance. Drawing parallels with Nigeria's situation, Obi recalled that before becoming president, Tinubu had repeatedly demanded the resignation of former President Goodluck Jonathan over insecurity and economic challenges facing the country. Obi further argued that conditions in the country had deteriorated since Tinubu assumed office, saying critical sectors had witnessed setbacks rather than progress. And in a swift pushback, the presidency dismissed the call by the presidential candidate of the Nigerian Democratic Congress, Peter Obi, for President Bola Tinubu's resignation, describing it as childish and hollow. Presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga accused Obi of drawing a false comparison between Nigeria's presidential system and the United Kingdom's parliamentary democracy, while painting what he described as a distorted picture of the country's current realities. According to Onanuga, Obi's arguments ignore the constitutional framework under which Nigeria operates. Nigerian travelers have been reminded by the United States Mission in Nigeria to strictly comply with U.S. immigration laws regarding their stay in the country. In a message posted on its official X handle, it urged applicants to stay only for the period authorized, keep their documents updated, and avoid further actions that could jeopardize their eligibility for future entry into the United States. It noted that complying with visa terms was key to protecting future travel and study opportunities, noting the mission stressed that following the rules was not only the right thing to do, but also a safeguard for individual travel prospects. In the meantime, Nigerian residents in South Africa have decried the delay in their repatriation from the troubled country by the federal government. They lamented that the government had yet to give them concrete answers about when they would be airlifted to Nigeria. But the High Commissioner assured the Nigerian nationals that plans to repatriate citizens wishing to return home remain in place despite a temporal suspension caused by operational constraints. The development comes as the 30th June deadline approaches and amid heightened debate over immigration in South Africa. Let's now join Louisa Sidi for news on the international scene.
We begin in the UK, where at least 2 senior Labour members of Parliament are considering launching leadership bids to prevent Andy Burnham becoming Prime Minister without a formal contest. Former Defence Minister Al Khans has said he is weighing up whether to run, while Sir Keir Starmer's Chief Secretary Darren Jones has also not ruled out a challenge. Labour MPs increasingly believe Burnham could become Prime Minister as early as 17 July, the day after nominations for the new leader close, after Sir Keir announced his resignation on Monday. However, a large contingent are uncomfortable with the idea of a leader whose policy ideas have not been tested in a leadership race. Meanwhile, Iran has denied a claim by U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance that it will allow nuclear inspectors back into the country after the first round of talks between Washington and Tehran to reach a final deal to end the war. Following negotiations in Switzerland, Vance said discussions with the International Atomic Energy Agency could be happening as soon as today. But Iran's foreign minister told state media that Tehran had made no new commitments on nuclear inspections. It came as the U.S. temporarily waived sanctions, allowing Iran to sell oil in U.S. dollars for the first time in decades. And to a worrying development, 13 years after the gang rape of an Indian woman on the bus in the capital of Delhi made global headlines, a new case that comes close in brutality inflicted on a woman has been reported from the northern state of Bihar. Campaigners say her story is also one of apathy from the police and medical authorities that women who face sexual assault, especially in small towns and villages, routinely encounter in India. The 28-year-old mother of 4 young children, whose name is being withheld from the press, said she was attacked in her own home and gang-raped by a group of men who allegedly inserted objects into her vagina. The incident took place on the night of 11 June in a village in Begusarai, a district that is officially recognized as one of India's most socially and economically backward. And finally, UN is saying Myanmar's military was responsible for more than 700 civilian deaths over the 6-month election period last year. A new report covering from August to January says credible sources have verified a minimum of 702 people were killed, including 224 women and 153 children. It covers the 6 months from when the military, who staged a coup 5 years ago, announced elections, a process widely derided as a sham due to main opposition's parties being excluded. The report warns a decline in international assistance is further compounding the suffering of millions of people. I am Louisa Asidi, Dott TV News.
For sports stories, here is Anthony Uche.
On the sports news today, the day 11 of the ongoing FIFA World Cup produced results that were in line with the drama it has produced so far, as records were broken and football fans witnessed what possibly was the longest World Cup match ever. Argentina faced Austria in the first game of the day, and Lionel Messi made both positive and negative history. First, by becoming the first player to miss 3 penalty kicks in the tournament's history, but later scored 2 goals, breaking the highest World Cup goals record in the process. The Argentine's brace took his World Cup tally to 18, surpassing the long-standing record set by German Miroslav Klose. In the second game of the day, Kylian Mbappe scored a brace yet again, and Ousmane Dembele scored another as France ran out 3-0 winners over Iraq. The game, though, was marked by a very lengthy halftime break which lasted over 2 hours following a downpour and warnings of thunderstorms. Meanwhile, Erling Haaland and Norway have sailed through to the round of 32 following their narrow 3-2 victory over Senegal. Senegal's Ismaila Sarr scored a brace of his own as well, but ultimately it was not enough as the African nation will have to go all in their final group game against Iraq. From the sports desk, Anthony Uche, Dott TV News.
That's a wrap on the midday news on Dott TV. Thank you for joining us. I am Priscilla Ifani.
In the heart of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
This is your station. This is Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV.
Dott TV, the heart of the matter.